Welcome back to another episode of the Man That Can Projects podcast. And one habit I really would love to get out of is saying welcome back. I'd rather say something like welcome to an episode, because if you aren't returning, it's a bit weird for me to be saying that. But I'm just starting to be aware of it. So I'm going to really start to change it. So guys, some cool stuff. If you're watching this on YouTube or if you're listening to this on podcast, thank you for your time and thanks for tuning in. I actually got a separate camera now hooked up to do the podcast. So if you see me awkwardly looking over to the right here, it's because I'm still looking at my screen, expecting that to be face on when really the camera is facing in a completely different direction. So I'm going to do my best to try and not get distracted and keep on topic. But what I do want to sort of get you guys or give away before I quickly do a quick plug for the Strong Men of Value program is I want to talk about and share a few tips that will help you do more of what you enjoy or do more of what you love. I think it's such an incredible time in human history to have access to tools, resources, and technology to allow us to create more freedom and fulfillment in our lives. Obviously, there's a whole heap of hurdles and things that we need to learn to get there, but I truly believe it's possible for anyone if we're prepared to do that, because over the last 8 years, I've gone from a guy who was very poor at writing, didn't really understand what I enjoyed or wasn't really clear on who I was as a person, and wasn't really clear on what I wanted to be doing or how I could go about doing that. So with all that confusion and clutter, it left me feeling overwhelmed and anxious, and I didn't really know which steps to take. So I want to quickly, I guess, tie it all up and tidy it up for you so you can actually implement these things that I talk about here today, because I think that's fucking crucial for you guys to be able to do that. Now, for those who are here for the first time, I would love it if you could head over to the manthatcanproject.com and check out our programs. We've got online programs for self-paced stuff to help you have a huge personal breakthrough. Or for those who just want to create massive momentum within 12 weeks, head to the Strong Men of Value program that you can get a 7-day free trial, right? There's no risks, and download your 12-week game plan, get the goals set up, and we'll plug you in with your accountability group and get you really connected within that community and that group there, where there's so many tools, information. There's some great lads in there who are kicking ass, and you'll be able to learn from their life experience there. So definitely jump in there. But let's dive into the 3 tips that will allow you to do more of what you enjoy. First one, super simple. If you don't have a calendar, if you don't have a diary, or if you don't use these little iPhones or laptops to chunk your time, it's probably worthwhile starting there. If you're not in control of your time, it's going to be in control of you. And if you're wanting to do more of what you love, you need to schedule it in your diary like you would with everything else. Most people know when they need to be at work, whether it's 7 till 3 or 9 till 5 or whatever your work hours are. You almost don't even need to schedule it in your planner, because you know that's when you're expected to be there in order to get paid, right? And to get your job done. Some of you work overtime, others don't. Okay, so if that is a non-negotiable, if you know you need to go there to get that outcome, have a look at your calendar. And if you can go back through, I've got mine right in front of me actually, but if you can go back through your previous week and look and see where you actually scheduled in time to do what you enjoy. And if it isn't in there, start by doing this. Go back and get clear on the non-negotiables, right? The things that, you have to get done every week. It might be work. It's obviously sleep, eating, work. For me, it's exercise. What other things do I have in here? Sauna, reading, skateboarding. Like, I have put all these things as a non-negotiable, and I've chunked out time to make sure that they get done, because then when I go through the week, I can tick them off as I'm doing it. And I also know that I can't double book myself. So it's important to start there, to schedule in the time to do what you enjoy, right? And if you're at the point where you don't know where or what you enjoy, just start doing things. If you're scrolling through Instagram or social media and there's things that, you find yourself consuming more videos on certain things or reading articles on certain things, find a way to get involved in that, whether it's skateboarding, surfing, or whatever it is for you. Just crack on with that and find out how you can get involved or what that would even look like, right? Be proactive, jump on Google, ask people, message people that you follow on social media. Ask me. No. Secondly is accountability, right? You can chunk the time, but it's very easy to go, look at your calendar and say, oh, I'm going for a game of golf here. But then you feel like work's extremely busy or something else pops up. So you let yourself off the hook. And then what happens? You go through another week or another month or another year, not spending time doing what's important to you, right? Or doing what you enjoy. And most people, myself included, find ourselves sacrificing a lot of what's important to us in our life for work, right? And it's proven that if you're earning, once you get to that 75K mark, there's studies showing that anything above 75K doesn't have a correlation to increased happiness. So if you're one of those people, and I'm putting my hand up here, this is me, where you're like, I need to earn more money, I need to have a better lifestyle, unless there's specific things you're working towards, like a super yacht or you want to travel business class everywhere, like it doesn't really have a correlation to improved happiness. Right? So if you can learn to go, okay, well, I'm at that mark, my life's pretty good. All that needs to change is like, instead of flying first class, you might fly economy, but you still get that same experience at the end of the day. You get to do that travel and everything like that. So I think it's important to really get clear on that. But tying it back in, the second step was accountability, right? So within accountability towards your goals, there's certain things you can do. Like for me, skateboarding or anything like that, the accountability comes through locking in a session with a mate, right? So I can't bail because then I'm letting him down, right? We both get satisfaction and fulfillment from going for a skate. It might be that you're exchanging money for something, right? You might be booking in at an expensive golf course and you have to prepay. So that way you can't get out of it unless you're prepared to lose the money. But obviously most of us are working more because we want the money. So you're probably not going to let go of the money that you've invested in that experience to do something that you enjoy. So find ways that you can hold yourself accountable in order to do the things that you enjoy. It might even be, talking about it on social media and saying, this Saturday I'm going to do this. And when it comes to Saturday and you feel those excuses or something else might pop in, you're like, well, I've just told everyone that I need to do that. So chunk your time first and foremost. And if you want to, I'll actually, for anyone who slides into my DMs and says you listen to this podcast and you want the chunking your time worksheet, just slide into my Instagram at Lachlan Stewart and I'll send you the worksheet and maybe just a specific recording on that so you can go through and start that step with your chunking your time. Secondly, accountability, find a way to do it to make yourself accountable to that. Thirdly, learn to say no. Every time you say yes to something, you're saying no to something else. So once again, if you use a diary, which once again, I'm telling you, you should probably use a fucking diary. If you look through your calendar, and once again, I'm not perfect at this. I can look through my calendar even last week. It's chaos. And there's a few things in there that I wish I didn't have in there. But because I wasn't as organized as I normally am or wanted to be, because I was getting on the beers, which I don't regret, but that was a choice. I wasn't organized. I didn't allow myself enough time to cancel. I like to have like a little window where I feel comfortable doing it. And if not, so suck it up, mate. You fucked up there. So you're going to sit through those meetings or whatever it is that I committed to. But think about these things, guys. When you understand what you value and if you have an idea of how you want to live life or what you're working towards creating, there's going to be priorities. And when you have priorities, you have to make sacrifices, right? Which means you have to say no. You can say no, thank you. You can say no, fuck off. You can say fuck no. You can do whatever works for you to make sure that you don't invest your time where it is, you're not going to get the outcome. It's not going to move you closer to where you want to be. So start thinking about that. Once again, if you don't know where, I just rolled off the tongue there. But if you don't know where you want to be, I would probably start there before anything else. Like, what do you really enjoy and what value is that going to give your life? When you get clear on that, you can go, okay, well, how can I do that? What am I currently doing? Because we all have 24 hours in a day. The people who are getting the results that they want are the people who are more clear on what they want and they learn to prioritize and say no to the things that aren't a priority. It doesn't need to be any more complicated than that. And if you're struggling with that, go back to step one and figure out what the fuck you want. and then build the plan to chunk your time to achieve that. Simple. That's all sorted. So when you can learn to say no, then you just go back through your calendar, and each week, whether it's a Friday afternoon or a Sunday, generally for me, it's a Friday afternoon, I have my chunked time for the week where I take meetings, where I'm working with clients, where I'm learning for myself, and where I'm doing various other things, as I've mentioned, and they then become a non-negotiable. And as life goes on, we can review it as certain priorities change, or you might reach certain goals. You just got to adjust as you get going. And the idea is, as I mentioned in this, like you might have a certain income goal that you get to, that when you get to, you need to be disciplined enough to do the things that you enjoy. Because what's saying, if you're working 50, 60 hours a week now to get to a certain goal, what makes you think you're just going to be able to switch off when you get to that goal? You're not, because it's going to be a habit working that much. So start thinking about that. And I hope those 3 steps or tips are going to be helpful to help you do more of what you enjoy on a regular basis. And remember, you can connect with us in the free Facebook group, or you can message me on Instagram, or even just join the Strong Men of Value program and get connected, and we can help you get into momentum when you set up your 12-week game plan. And, it'd be awesome to walk side by side with you while you crush the next 12 weeks. So gents, thank you for your time. Remember, share this episode with someone that you know will get value from it, and come back next week when we drop another incredible episode. Thanks for tuning in.